today we have a special guest that came all the way from Cleveland, Ohio?
Yes.
All right, Cleveland, Ohio. So we're going to have a quick conversation. So give them your name, and so they'll know who we're talking to, right?
Jay Valentine, a.k.a. Dr. Deuce.
All right. And
Former Indianapolis Clown, 1977-78.
well, they're going to be surprised to know that the Indianapolis Clowns were still going in 1977, 78. How did you get on the Clowns? That's what I want to know in 1970.
Yeah, basically it happened from, I was invited to instructional league in Fort Lauderdale for the Yankees, and went through the spring training with them. Met a guy who talked about the Indianapolis Clowns because he was on instructional league trying to get his fielding together from Chicago White Sox. And he said if they didn't take him back, he was going to go play with the Clowns. And I was like, who's the Clowns? And he mentioned that Hank Aaron played for the Indianapolis Clowns. That's how he got his start. So I'm like, wow, okay. So after the spring training was over, I went back home, and I got a message, or a phone call back then, you know, and it was like, yeah, some George Long offered me to come to Muscatine,
And George
Iowa.
Long was the owner at that
of
time. So
Indianapolis
Sid
Colts.
Pollock was long gone.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now George Long, you know anything about him? Where was he from?
George Long was from New York, actually. He was born in New York.
Okay.
And he came from a really poor family, and he was, I forget, he was in like the iron business or something like that. But anyhow, he moved into Muscatine, Iowa, because there was some work in Davenport, Iowa. So that's how he got it. He was always in love with baseball, and he played baseball in Muscatine, Iowa. Then he started coaching, and then he took over a league. He coached for 67 years,
Okay.
and he died at the age of 93.
Okay.
So he had a remarkable winnings percentage.
You know, what's kind of remarkable is you mentioned Muscatine, Iowa, and I've been there, and a great promoter from Muscatine, Iowa. He promoted the House of David.
Yeah.
And this guy's name was Ray L. Doan.
Okay.
Muscatine, Iowa. Actually, Sid Pollock, who owned the Clowns, in 1931, Sid Pollock put a team together called the Cuban House of David.
Okay.
And he was using the House of David name without permission. And Ray L. Doan, the guy from Muscatine, Iowa, took him to Council Bluff, Iowa, and sued him and made him drop the name. And so through evolution, he ended up picking up the Indianapolis Clowns, which you end up playing for the Indianapolis Clowns. It's kind of amazing how that history just all comes together and people don't always know.
Right.
So last year, okay, you mentioned the guy at the Yankees. What was his name? You remember the second baseman that you said was the guy trying to make the Yankees?
Oh, Steve Hughes.
Steve Hughes. Did he ever play much after that?
No, he played. He ended up coaching in the minor leagues. But
Okay.
right now, I don't know
What became Steve?
Yeah. I know he went back to like Virginia or something. He had the conversion ban, so you know. That's how we got around in Fort Lauderdale.
Well,
And he took me down to Miami to the Orioles camp.
Okay.
And they tried me out and stuff. And I hadn't even graduated from high school yet.
Okay.
You know, I just turned 19 and I'm done with school because I was finished during the Christmas season. So
Okay.
I didn't have to go back. All I had to go back to was walk with my class.
Ah,
You know.
okay.
So, and that just happened that I got invited down there for instructional league.
Well, one question I will have, since you're out there and you're young enough, because you're about my same age. Yeah, that's why people always ask me, say, did you play in the Negro Leagues? I said, no, but now I can say, I know a guy that's probably younger than me that did. What year were you born?
The last of the Negro Leagues.
Yeah, but it was a touring baseball team.
Yes, we were Barnstormers.
So you were Barnstormers.
Yes.
So that's good, right?
Yeah.
So how can people get in contact with you if they wanted to maybe have you come and speak, especially if they're around in the Ohio area? How would they get in contact with you? But you're not limited to Ohio. They pay you enough money, you'll go where they want,
go
right?
wherever,
Okay, all right.
absolutely.
So let them know how they can reach you.
Yeah, basically you can reach Jay Valentine.
And you might want to look right in the camera, make sure they get this down.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Jay Valentine, or my email is jays, Jays, jackets, jackets, @roadrunner.com. And you can always reach me on Facebook. My phone number's on there. But I can give it out. I mean, it doesn't matter to me, you know, but it's 216-952-4915.
All right. And then they can reach you at the Cleveland Museum too, right?
Absolutely.
What,
Yeah.
What's the name of the museum? And tell me that.
Yeah. That's the Baseball Heritage Museum at League Park in Cleveland, and I work there, and I coach the team that's part of the Cleveland Buckeyes, named after the last of the Negro League Championship in 1945.
45.
And you just work Wednesdays.
So.
I only work Wednesdays, yes, I do.
Okay. Well, so they should have any problem reach you. Guys, I'll tell you what, if you want to touch living history, then you got to go out and meet some of these people who can tell you some things, because guys, once we're gone, they're going to be reading everything from books. They won't have any first-hand information, will
Right.
they? Right.
You got that.
I'm giving second-hand information only because I interviewed a bunch of people way back, right?
Mhm.
But people didn't
That's
get a
how you
chance to
get
interview, and preserved a lot of history, right?
Yep.
So you're preserving some history
Yep.
that they need to know about, right? So.
And it's great that what you do, because, I mean, you're out there, you've been beating the path for years.
Oh yeah, I love it
You know?
too.
Yeah.
And you love it too.
It's a
I
lot
can
of
tell.
hard work.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
can tell the fact that you're in Kansas City today.
Yes.
That you're ready to go to work.
I'm
So
ready.
he's going to roll up his sleeves and be ready to ready to get out and talk about this whole baseball experience. And guys, it's interesting. It doesn't ever stop. And so, excuse me, I do want to thank you for coming today. And you brought one of my books
Yes,
down.
yes.
And guys, I'm going to sign this. And guys, pick up one of my books. All right, I got about 8 or 9 of them out there, and guys, I don't just have books, I have some award winners. How about that? So we would do that, and this has just been another edition of Phil Dixon's This Day in Black Baseball, Phil S. Dixon, and today we have a legendary figure with us that's young enough to come to your city, all right? So thank you guys, you have a nice day. Bye.